to talk about no-code at the Apidays. Because when I discovered no-code for the first time, for me it was like I discovered a new superpower. But with some limits, because you can build what you want with no-code. But so just a few months later, I just learned how to use API. And it was just amazing because really when you use code, no code plus API, you can build really what you want. You can add features and many things. And together, it's really a superpower for the long run. So when you know that, after this first excitement, how can you convert that as a new power for use this advantage on the long run? And so that's why I want to talk about how to make your no-code reliable, secure, and maintainable. So first, I'm Benoit, the co-founder and the CEO of NCScale, and I have been an entrepreneur since I was 16, and my first company was an hosting company. And I have been a no-coder since 2013. First with Zapier, and then with Make, Airtable, and Bubble. And NCScale, we co-founded with Kevin, is a product for versioning, log management, and security, but for no code. It was founded in 2021. We raised $2.6 million in 22, and there are 13 people in the company right now. And why we did this company is because we really believe that no code is a competitive advantage when it is well done. In no code, you can create app quickly and unwell, exactly like in code, finally. But if you deeply understand the power and all the advantages of no code, you can avoid many mistakes and use these advantages on the long run. There is only one way to do that, is just to listen how developers, how coders solve all these problems, because it's not a new problem. It's a problem for any application development. And code is really older than no code. So they have exactly the same issues for versioning, for documentation, for log management and security. And for the last 3 years, the number of applications built with Bubble, Airtable, and any other tools is significantly increasing. It's just incredible. So this no-code industry is pretty young, finally, and need to learn from the code wise men about all these problems. With that in mind, you can use both no-code and code and create a real competitive advantage to deliver faster products, new features, and will be faster than any competitors. But you really need to use the good practices and the same tools than the coders, but for no code. I have some successes to share with you, like Prelo. Prelo is a startup in real estate marketplace. It was founded in 2021, and they raised 15 million euros last year. There are 50 people in this team, and they choose to make all their tech part in no-code by using Xano for the database, N8N for the automation, and many other no-code tools. But it is a real choice for the long term. So they are building good practices. They are building some tools for that to be sure that they can deliver quality in their no-code development. Another success is Finoto. Finoto is a scale-up based in Germany. It was founded in 2019, and they raised 900 million euros. It is an online car subscription service. And they have right now more than 15,000 customers. It's just massive. And 80% of their operation is made on Make. They have some code team and also no-code teams. And in their team, there are more than 400 people. They all learn how to make an automation with Make. So they are all involved in the no code in the company. So with that, they can deliver really quickly new features, and that's why they are just deploying the US market with 100% of no code. So no code problem today are many. You have the first question is how can I scale my no code application exactly than in code, because you can choose a no code tools, but are you sure that it is the best tool for the long term? It's really hard to find that. The second problem is how to keep my no code as readable as code, because even in code it is not easy, but in no code it could be really hard, because you use many tools for your app. So how can you have a view for all your flows in your no code app? Also, in the same topic, how to track issues in a complete flow. For example, you can have a flow beginning on one no code tool, and this same flow can end on another no code tools. So how to just manage and to have a global view of all the traces for this flow. It is really hard. The next point is about, is my app is secure? You can rely finally on each no code tools, on Bubble, Airtable, Make, but is it enough? And you need to learn for each no code tools all the good practices to learn how you can secure Make, how you can secure Zapier, how you can secure Bubble. And so you need to learn sometimes in really different ways for each tool how it is well to secure. And then the last point is about who did this change. Is there a traceability about this change, and what will be deployed in production? Sometimes it is really hard to just know what I am deploying right now on production. So today, the no-code good practices for scalability is like in code. In code, you learn to don't reinvent the wheel. It is exactly the same in no-code. You just need to choose the best tool for each part of your application. It is the only way to have a clear visibility. All no-code tools are cloud first, and so that you can scale as much as you need. So for example, for the builder, you can use Glide, Bubble, WeWeb. For the database, you have Xano, Airtable, Bezro, and many others, and the same for automation with Zapier, Make, and N8N. Just for the last one, for each, you can self-hosted each of them. So you can also be sure that you can keep control on this data. So for each part of your no-code application, just choose the best tool for your need. Sometimes it is really different between your use cases. That's why when you ask which is the best tool for this, we can't answer quickly. There is also another thing in the same topic. Don't reinvent the wheel. It is like in code. You can create function in the code just to be able to reuse something in another part of your code. For example, here it's just a flow. It's just a process to create and send an invoice. So it starts by get an order, create a PDF, and send an email. So you could be able to just create a big flow with all these actions in one block. But if you want to reuse a part of this, for example, the create a PDF, it could be really better to just call an action for that. And so you will be able to reuse the same scenario in another flow. So for example, for this one, it is download a user list. You could have the first action, get users, then create a PDF, and then download the file. That's really useful to maintain your app and all your scenarios. So if you need to change the process to create a PDF, you just have to change in one place the process. So it is like a function in code. And it is also clearer, and you have a better visibility, because thanks to the no-code UI, you can understand all the flow. And so it is quicker to go through your whole flow and debug it. In no-code, if you need, you can create also your own API, own REST API. So for example, here it's a template from Finauto. So in their automation, they create some small API for their own application. So to build this template, they just learn how API development is done to be sure that they can match the good practices of API development. So they can add an authentication and IP restriction at the beginning of the endpoint. And they can add a custom header with a trace ID to be sure that they can really trace this use in all the logs. Then they can check at each step of the API, for example here, the payload validation, and if it is wrong, they can create some custom message with a custom code to be readable by developer. And then you have your logic. So the logic could be any other function or any other scenario. But the beginning is that. So like a real API. And then at the output, they can check at each time this API is used, if the output schema is correct. And in this way, they can just say, no, it is not correct with a custom message, or yes, everything is great with a success message. So that's a really good example how we can apply good practices and how we build something great in code, but in no code. Because don't provide this template. It is made by no coders who want to learn from coders. And what about security, finally? Because it is really easy to make mistakes in no code, really easy. First, before APIscene, we built with Kevin a security plugin for Bubble. And 70% of Bubble applications have security issues. And it is not on the Bubble fault. It is because the documentation, the user who use no code don't apply all the good practices for each tool about security. So, for example, in no code, you build a lot on the front end first. So you have all the data from your database, from your backend, and after you polish your app with the front end. And so after you need to, don't forget, to add security layers on the database. That's why you need to secure that, and you need to learn for each tool how it works. So for example, I want to show you an example on Bubble. So here we are in the UI of a Bubble application, and on the database tab, and in the settings of security for this table. And for each field in this table, I can add a rule. A rule like if this user on the website is the creator of this row, so he can read everything. If not, he can't. But you need to learn that because it will be different in Bezo, in Zapier, in Make. So you really need to learn that. And so if you don't do that, all the data is pushed to the front. And for example, here it is just a page with a list of your users. From your front end, you just want to have the first name and last name for this page. But if you open your development tools, you will see that in the call HTTP from your client to the backend, you can see everything. You can see email, token, everything about this user. So all the other fields. So that's why it is really important to learn how to secure your backend. So that's why at APIscene we built a security product to just scan all the settings about your app security. So if it's a bubble, make everything else. And we can give a score for that. We also have a log management to gather all the log from any tools in one place. And we have also the version control to just track any changes, to have pull requests, and also to add release notes. And obviously, we want to go to the CI/CD, but for no code. Thank you.
It's the first time I thought that I could build an API in Make, and now I'm imagining a lot of stuff in my head. Thank you very much. So we have a couple of questions. So there's one over there. It's here. So just if someone wanting to give the person a mic. Yep.
Hey, how are you? Thank you for the presentation.
Just there is a camera, but here we go. That's perfect.
Is it possible to use NC Scale with Glide?
With what?
With Glide.
With
Glide.
Glide. No, not yet for Glide. We are today integrated first with Make and Bubble plus Airtable. And so for sure, we want to go further with Glide and any other tools. And we want also to open our API to editors to be able to be integrated more.
Do we have other questions about security? Yeah, there is one over here. Thank you.
Thank you for your presentation. You say about making scenarios, like think about it like a function.
Like a function.
But I don't think it's possible with Make, but with NC Scale, you have something to do that? To take a scenario and give them an input to have output?
With Make, you can do that. It is not easy because you need to create a call from your scenario to another scenario. So from a webhook to another webhook. Okay. And so you can pass some data in this webhook with what you need.
Okay, thank you.
Do we have other question on that? All right. Yeah, one over there. There is one, Stephanie, please. Thank you.
Hello. It's two questions actually. The first one is continuing the other question with Glide. Is there like a roadmap for the other solutions, because I can see it on the website coming soon? And what are the requirements if you don't have an integration? Do you provide also consultation maybe on a call? The second thing is on Make. So what kind of we need an example how you measure the security of Make exactly. Is it you integrate with the platform, then you can check it out later, or process the webhooks, you view it by an authorization? So we need a real example, if possible. Where are you standing in terms of security? Because this is a very critical subject for no-coders. And yes, all of the presented weaknesses, I've been seeing it for too many times lately, because increasing the no-coders in the community increases the facts of the issues with the security. Thank you.
Yes. So for the first one, we have for the feature for the versioning, we really want to be able to be integrated with any tools. So for that, we first work with some editors for the database, automation, and frontend to have to have all of them in a simple way. And so we will be able to create API for each type of tools for that. So for automation, it is really easy right now because we really know how to version automation things, and also for the log management, we are already integrated with any tools. So it depends really about the features and the tools. For the security of Make, the thing that we can check if the webhook have an authentication at the on the endpoint, and if there is IP restriction and something like that. And we saw so many URL public about webhook. So we have many webhooks publicly for Make. So if anybody can hit this webhook without any authentication, it could be an issue. We also add a security layer about if there is a change in your scenario, you need to be alerted. Even if you are the owner of your Make account and someone else, a freelance, someone in your company changes something in your scenario, you need to be alerted to be sure that there is no something else in. And with our versioning features, we can clearly show you what was the differences between the version before the change. And in this way, as you can see really quickly the changes, you can be sure that there is no security issue.
Thank you very much. Well, thanks.